Hey guys, so today we're talking study abroad most memorable moments. One of mine might involve getting stuck in a snowstorm. Alright, so when you're studying abroad, there are many exciting and memorable things that happen to you. So one of mine that I will share with you today happened when I was in France. So I studied abroad in France my junior year. I lived with a host family. It was actually a French woman who was actually from Spain. It was a little bit complicated. And she lived alone, and she always took on like 2 or 3 exchange students at a time to live with her. And I lived in Dijon, France. It's the capital of the Burgundy region, but her house was a bit outside, like maybe a 30-minute ride by bus. Anyway, this story happened about, I'm going to say about a week into my stay in Dijon. And my study abroad group, we were getting adjusted to life in France, and our classes were about to start, and we were like, okay, what can we do to have some fun? Let's go and experience our first French movie in France. So it's like the dead of winter, right? We go, we meet downtown, we're all living, you know, kind of scattered about the city and the outskirts of the city. So we meet downtown, we go to the movie theater, and when we come out of the movie theater, a snowstorm has taken place. And there's like this much snow on the ground. I don't know if you can see. I mean, it was insane. It was like when we were going into the movie theater, there was nothing. And when we come out, there's like this much snow. And the movie theater happened to be like right next to the bus stop. And there were about 10 of us in our group, 10, 12 people, and we all lived with different host families in different parts of the city. So we all took different buses for the most part. So we're waiting for our buses, and my bus came last. I still remember this so clearly. So we're waiting. Everyone's bus comes and leaves, My bus comes, and let me just tell you, I get on the bus, and the bus rolls forward like 5 feet and stops. And I'm like, the light is green, why have we stopped? Then what happened next was so scary to me at the time. The bus driver stands up, says something in French. I had only been there a week. My ears had not adjusted to like hearing the language full time. And yeah, he says something, and immediately everyone gets up and starts filing out of the bus. And I'm like trying to piece together some type of question in my mind that I can ask someone to figure out what's going on. So, but everyone's moving so quickly, so it's really tough for me to like think on my feet in that moment. And luckily there was this really elderly man sitting in front of me, and he was a bit slower getting off the bus, so I kind of went around the seat and asked him, like in very broken French. I was like, I'm an exchange student, what is happening? I'm confused. And he's like, oh, the bus stop. And I'm like, yeah? Why? He's like, it no go in the snow. No go. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he asked me where I lived, and I told him, and I was so lucky that he lived quite close to my house. So he tells me at first, like, oh, maybe my wife will come pick us up. I was like, okay. And so he goes to this payphone and calls her, and when he finishes, he's like, no, we walk. And I'm like, okay. So by bus, it's like 20-30 minutes to get into downtown from my house, and now I'm like looking, the snow is like getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and I'm like, holy crap, like we're gonna have to walk forever to get home. So it was all uphill because the area of town that we both live in, it's like on the top of this hill. And basically I walked with this, like, I think he's around 80, this 80-year-old French man who had just had heart surgery. He talked to me like the whole walk about the heart surgery that he had had like a year ago. I was like, oh gosh, okay. So we walk all the way back up there. His house was first, but then by the time I got to his house, I was like, thank goodness I knew how to get the rest of the way. Like, I remembered the bus route. And yeah, then it was funny because I got into the home of my, you know, host mom, and she's like, oh, like, thank goodness that you're back. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I'm so glad that you didn't call me because I wouldn't come to pick you up. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, oh, I stopped driving in the snow like many years ago. So if you call me, like, I will not come pick you up. So I'm very glad that you made it home safely. It's like, okay, this woman is a little bit crazy. Like, she has 3 study abroad students all living with her, and she will not come pick them up if they have a problem in the snow. So yeah, it was a pretty interesting experience. It was really scary in the moment, but now, years later, I can laugh about it, and you know, it seems like such a comical experience to me now. So why do I share these memorable moments from my study abroad experience? Well, for me, I think it's important to share your experiences to motivate other people to go and try study abroad. So if you have studied abroad and you have memorable moments to share, which I'm sure that you do if you've been abroad before, please leave them in the comments below, and let's help inspire other young people to go and have some amazing experiences abroad as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.